Well, that happened. David Reed here with Dial the Gate. So the show, despite being 2 hours and 30 minutes, was actually cut short because I couldn't get through it. I've had about 10 hours of sleep in 3.5 days, just being so excited to do something for Ruby that I couldn't get through the last of the submissions, who were from the most important people. And I had to cut several things because, hello, Caroline Ann. We never get to talk. I had to cut several things for time. Michael Greenberg had sat down with us for half an hour talking about Dawn, and I trimmed it to 12 minutes, and then I put all the video together, and it was about an hour and 8 minutes of contributions, and I had to cut him down to 2 minutes. And this is an executive producer for MacGyver and Stargate SG-1. And I missed a couple of other tributes as well. So we're going to fix that because now I'm okay. So before I was so rudely interrupted by myself, this was something I got from Colleen Kelly Burke, who we saw with Gary Jones earlier tonight. Hey, Anthony. Thanks, Pac-Man. And it was, I don't know if, I wasn't listening when Colleen was talking with Gary. I'm not sure if she made it or if someone else did, but this is a precious possession. And it says, once more, Don S. Davis, actor, artist, scholar, teacher, veteran, and a gentleman in the truest sense of the word. His light may have gone out in our world, but his star shall forever shine in our hearts. Per the request of his wife, Ruby, and family, in lieu of gifts or flowers, you can make a donation to the American Heart Association in Don's memory. And yeah, it's something I hold really special. Contributions. Is that the word I want? So we have a couple of more, and from the executive producers of Stargate SG-1. So let's have a look. Let's see here. Help if I had it ready to rock and roll, and I thought I did. So give me just a moment. Okay. Maybe this doesn't sound as flattering as I mean it. As an actor, this is Robert C. Cooper. As an actor, Don was a rock. He was so dependable. You could always count on him to be the anchor of a scene, even when others took it off course. But he wasn't just a straight man. When we gave him the opportunities, he brought emotion, nuance, power, and a devious sense of humor. I hope he never felt taken for granted. Offset, I'm sure he only got a small taste of the experience he had throughout his life. I always looked forward to the chance to sit down and really talk. He never failed to shock me with the crazy variety of things he had done. He is missed. Thank you, Rob. Rob actually, he got that to me like 30 minutes before, because out of all the times that we have talked, I assumed we've talked about Don, and I went into my archive, which has been designed and broken down by chapters for each conversation that we have. And for Rob, whom we've talked with like 11, 12 times, there was a line item for Don. But it wasn't about Don. It was just like, just generally associated with something, like part of something that he was involved with. And so the next time Robert comes on, we're going to be spending some time talking about Don, because that's an oversight on my part, and one that we've got to make sure we have some commentary for, in addition to this beautiful piece that he submitted here. And then finally, a text contribution from the inestimable Brad Wright. He says, I learned of Don's passing while on a cross-country summer road trip with my golf buddy and Stargate set decorator Mark Davidson. Mark was close to Don, and I had known Don since my years on the Outer Limits. We were both shocked by the sad news and raised our glasses in a somber toast in a diner somewhere in the middle of Saskatchewan. Don was the voice Jonathan and I had in our minds as we were writing the character of General Hammond in the pilot script. And what a rich, kind, and commanding voice it was. I can hear it now. Easiest casting decision ever. Brad Wright. And then, don't mind the Chinook. There's a military base not far from here. And then I read Mark Davidson's contribution and couldn't get through it. But those were the ones I was trying to get to next. So, gentlemen, thank you for submitting. The other thing that I was trying to get to before I read Mark's words for Don, having spent a fair amount of time in Hollywood, they expect you to think that they're the shit. And I took several phone calls this week getting these things together and getting some information out. And one guy that I talked with, he just said, we talked for about an hour, and he said repeatedly in the conversation, I don't get how we're this lucky. And he said, didn't necessarily say those words, but that was the inferred meaning. It's like, why us? Why do we get to be? And you ask that to a Hollywood type, a lot of the pretentious, snippy ones, most of them, a number of them, and they will say, oh, why not us? It's a mindset. It's the Canadian mindset. It's the Canadian working class that deserve every ounce of the praise that created this amazing franchise. So that's what I was trying to say with that. Southern Alumni Magazine. This is the June 2004 edition. Is it June 2004? The PDF is now online in the last hour, and it is available for you to read below. So you will see all of the information that I was trying to get up there. I was only able to show a few slides, but if you scroll down into the description below, you can download and read the entire article that they did for Don in pretty outstanding resolution. So that's there, and that's going to stay there in my cloud hard drive for this point forward. And that is only thanks to a gentleman by the name of Josh Steinhaus, who literally rode in on a white horse to, he just dropped me the file. He sleuthed this, the digital version of this, in 15 minutes once I gave him a couple of clues. And then he found me on Facebook, and then we connected and we talked, and it became part of the show. But I just couldn't thank him at the end. So thank you, Josh. So that you made that contribution possible. Thanks to Wells Davis for pinch hitting as a producer in the last few hours, and thanks to Marco Maldini for some sound correction. I had planned to render the final end credits with their names as producers for this episode, because they certainly were, and it got swept. I thought I had done it, and I missed it, because when I watched the end credits, they weren't there. So I reached out to and apologized. And you know what? At the end of this, we're going to do them again, because they deserved it. One last contribution, and I'm not going to cut him out this time. Michael Greenberg, the full 12-minute conversation about Don. We're going to go ahead and let him speak his mind now, because he has yet to do an official interview on the channel, and he wants to come back and do it, but I'm not going to make him retread material that we've already covered. We're going to be more mindful of his time, and since I've already got it, we're going to play it here. So please enjoy, as intended, the original contribution to the memory of Don Sinclair Davis from executive producer of MacGyver and Stargate SG-1, Michael Greenberg. I'll see you guys in about 12 minutes. Michael Greenberg, writer and executive producer. Stargate SG-1. Sir, welcome
Yeah.
to Dial the Gate.
Thank you, David. Good to be here.
Good to be here with you. Don and you go way back before SG-1.
Oh, yeah.
But before we do that, I wanted to know if you could confirm something for me. I was told that no one else was considered for Hammond. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, I think it was always going to be Don. Yeah, always. Yeah. And it might have come from the MacGyver days because he just fit the bill so perfectly. And he's a one-take guy. He's just amazing. And he always has a smile on his face. He was just, he became a really good friend, as you know. I
Yeah.
actually knew Ruby before Dawn, believe it or not. She she worked or she ran a video rental house in Vancouver that I used to rent movies from. So I actually knew her before. She was like the Quentin Tarantino of Vancouver. She was
Really?
well, I mean, she as far as running
I
a video rental house. Yeah. So so I knew her prior and her daughter. And so, yeah, that was pretty amazing connection.
When did you meet Don? And was it for the role of Dana Elkar's stunt double? And
Yeah.
when did you know that it was like, okay, this guy is something special, something Ozark special?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when he came in to stunt double Dana, um, I guess the first day we knew he was it because he's a one take guy. Like I said, he's just brilliant. He's just a great person to be around. His energy was contagious. Everyone loved him. Um, and he delivered every time, perfection. Each take. We never had to do a second take with Don. It was always someone else.
Your team was LTS. Life's too short. We are here to
Yeah.
have a good time. We are here to work hard.
Yeah.
How did Don factor into making that happen and making the set as stressful as and chaotic as television, is hour-long television, especially a place that was considered a home?
Well, yeah, Don was like the dad. He was like the all-knowing dad, but he was also had such a great spirit and such a great temperament that he kept everything calm. Like nobody would grandstand in a scene with Don. It just didn't work. You know, we tried to make that happen in every scene because we weren't big on, you know, day players or episodic actors coming in and with attitude or with ego or anything that didn't sort of fit the chemistry that we had established and were going. So those people really didn't last very long.
Right.
And if it ever did happen, we take them outside and tell them, hey, that doesn't that doesn't work here. So we were really a family from the beginning. And I mean, it was the same way we were on MacGyver
Mhm.
and the same way we were on Legend, even though that became sort of a limited series. We weren't able to do multiple
Oh,
years of that, but
yeah.
I know
John
that's
Delancey. John Delancey is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, he's a good friend too. And as you know, I mean, we put him in everything.
These characters find their footing very quickly compared to some
Yeah.
other shows out there. And what was it like, and how much did you have a part in being down on the set and watching Don tweak this guy piece by piece, just like he was carving a block of wood from military cutout figure, General West was here, insert General Hammond here, to the father figure that we all hold in such high esteem today.
Yeah, I mean, the word that keeps coming to mind is solid. I mean,
Yeah.
you said it. He's solid. I
Yeah.
mean, he's I mean, it's almost like Michelangelo or Da Vinci carved him. I mean, he's just a solid character, and he knew the character inside and out. And I can tell you honestly, we never worried about Hammond in a scene. I never gave it any thought whatsoever because I knew Don would deliver it, and I knew it from MacGyver. I mean, because he delivered everything day in and day out, just on a stunt double, you know, effort. You know, he was just there, and so he's. I think you said it. I mean, he's solid. He's just solid as a rock. So I never worried about his character arc, because he always had it. He always had it down, and that's what made him gold for us, platinum. You know, he was amazing, and as great an actor, he was the greatest guy. You know, the greatest guy. It's really sad that he's no longer
I
here.
know.
You know, but and he's probably looking down on you and I right now and going, what are these guys talking about? Why are they talking
Why?
about me?
Yeah.
That would be done. You know, why are they going on about me? Why am I, on this talked about on a podcast? You know, why me? Because he didn't think like that. He just
No.
showed up and did the job. Yeah.
No. He's like Washington. You want me to be president again? I want to go home to Mount Vernon. I'm done. When
Yeah, exactly. And
when
he could do drama, he could do comedy.
oh
As you
gosh.
know, on MacGyver, we did a lot of fun stuff. And then
Yeah.
on Stargate, the 100th episode, Wormhole Extreme, you know, yeah, so he made the adjustment, and yeah, delivered.
I always had assumed, based on our interview with him, that he had stepped away because of his health concerns in the end. That's certainly how he played it to us, explained it to us at Gate World. But the more I hear about him, the more I'm beginning to think that it was only half of the story. Because what I have heard since is that in order to accommodate Rick, it was considered for O'Neill to be logically promoted into the two-star major general position running SGC, and for Hammond to step aside and be promoted into the Pentagon as a lieutenant general. And my understanding from what I have heard since is that it was partly Don's idea to take this for the team and step aside and now put Rick in this role so that he would be able to contribute for another year. Am I getting any of that right? And
I think I might have been. I might have been gone by then. If that was the ninth season.
That was season 8. That was season 8 when Rick took over.
No, I was there for 8.
Yep. So
Okay.
because
I was there
Don
for
was
8.
gone. Yeah, Don left at the end of 7.
Okay.
And he gave Rick
Oh,
the role
okay.
he allowed Rick to have the role of General of Stargate Command for season 8. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my understanding
Well-
is that Don, at the very least encouraged, says, okay, it's time for you to step into this place now, because he's not having to go off world so much. You can utilize his time in different ways, get more screen time from him, because he's going to be at bridge more frequently
Yeah.
than he is going to go off world. I was just curious to know how much, from what your recollection was. I mean, because it's only 25 years ago, Michael.
I think yours. I know. I think yours recollection is probably right, and
Yeah.
way better than mine, because I went from season 8. I went back into sports where I started. So I went to the Score Sports Channel in Canada, and then to the NHL, where I spent 10 years doing all those NHL film series. So my head, I like went from sci-fi to sports, which is probably the craziest move ever.
The only
But
thing they have in
so-
common is they're fanatical fans.
Yeah.
The Venn diagrams are
true.
almost completely separate.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the one thing that yeah, that's absolutely true. Fans are crazy about Stargate, and they're crazy about their sports teams. And that's a good observation. Very similar.
What can you tell me about the day that you found out that he had passed?
Oh, just total sadness. I think I texted Ruby. I might have called her. My headspace was so, like I said, 24/7 in Stargate. And just, there was so much I had to do as just to, you know, get each day done and prepped, the next day prepped, and the next week prepped. I mean, we had, not just live action stuff that we were shooting day to day, but we had all the computer generated stuff and, you everything that goes into, completing a frame, let alone, an hour show. So my head, I have to tell you, for those, 8 years, and then the ninth year, I was like a consultant, but for the first 8 years, I was just, you know, like I said, 24/7, just
Wow.
immersed in what I had to do to be ready for the next day. So I was floored by it, you know.
Um,
Such a great guy, such a loss, but as you get to be my age,
right,
it happens.
right.
It happens. People just start going away and it sucks.
There are few people who have made an impact on this franchise like he did. And as we've already established, he would have been the first to say, oh, I wouldn't have expected that. I mean, he was just that guy who was a symbol of humility and talent. And God, was he funny. And
Yeah.
he I know he loved being there. There is not a person that I have met in my 25 years of reporting for this franchise that has ever had a cross thing to say about the man. And in an industry like this, that is saying something, because everyone is allowed a bad day
Oh yeah.
every now and then. It just happens. Unless you're
Yeah.
a cop or a caregiver or a couple of other categories, you are allowed to just, I'm just having one. Is that okay? Is that all right? I'm just having a bad day. Not
Yeah.
this guy. He was rock solid.
No, not this.
And I was I was so proud to have known him. So, Michael,
Yeah, me too.
thank you for taking time out of your day. I know that you're 9 hours ahead, and
Yeah, no problem.
it means the world to me that you would remember him on the day that we're all getting together to
Oh, definitely.
celebrate his life.
Oh yeah, he was the greatest. I loved him. What more can I say? He was a lovable guy and I loved him. Yeah, and I think about him often and always will.
It's interesting here. We had the GateCon convention footage earlier tonight, where Don basically says something like, "Yeah, I'm 17 take Don," or whatever it was. I forget exactly what he said. It's been a long night. But in this piece here, Greenberg says he was a one take guy. Don was self-effacing. Um, and sounds about right. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate y'all in the chat joining me for the nightcap. Ethan contacted me and he said they weren't getting started with the drumline competition until late tomorrow afternoon. It's like, well, I'm going to finish what I started and I'll catch up with you tomorrow, boy. So I appreciate y'all tuning in to hang out with me a little bit longer, and I'm glad that we were able to finish that off right. Thank you, Michael Greenberg, so much for your time in sharing wonderful memories from a wonderful man. My name is David Reed for Dial the Gate, the Stargate Oral History Project. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on the other side. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.